Hey, welcome to Sketch Podcast. I'm here with Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, Bob. How about you?
Doing good, doing good.
Awesome.
Let's see. Last time we discussed comic book formats, staples and bindery. Whether square bound or staple bound was best. We each have our opinions, and we each know the cost of them. And what we're doing these podcasts right now is really focus on crowdfunding. Right. If you're going to put together a crowdfunding project, then, it's sort of like, okay, what do you want to offer that you can produce affordably, but yet offer the supporter a real nice product?
Right.
And some of the cool things that I really like about crowdfunding, I think it's what really drew me into crowdfunding years ago, was that I can go in the comic shop. My old comic shop's literally 4 stores down, and buy any comic I want. Mike and Tessa does a great job. It's the bonus stuff. It's the stuff that I can get along with it that I would have to go to a show. I would have to, spend that money, get in a show, find some prints, find the right creators. It's the stretch rewards, and it's the add-ons that I absolutely love. The concept of Kickstarter, I love it as a person who buys. The Kickstarter supports them, and one producing it. Because for me as a publisher, it's fun. Because we always have these little pieces of artwork that we're like, oh, that'd make a cool print, or that'd make a cool this, or a cool buttons, or whatever,
Right.
And most of the time we don't get to. I mean, how many shows do we do anymore a year? Not many.
Yeah. I wasn't doing many, or actually, I think before the pandemic, I didn't go to one for almost a year or two.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, right.
I haven't set up one in 4 years, mostly because of health issues.
Right.
I'm walking around them and stuff. I did go to Cincinnati this past weekend, and was there Friday with some friends and took Clay, and we walked all around, checked it all out. And then I went back on Sunday with my brother Mike, who co-owns Blue Line and Sketch with me. And we walked around and looked at it. And they're the same. It's the same. I mean, it was packed. Don't get me wrong. It was packed. And people there seemed like they were doing okay. But it's just, how hard is it to reach the people to get them over to your table?
Right.
And the ones who were successful are the ones who have been there all 12 years of the show.
Right. Yeah. They have a name. It's like, well, this is my table. Literally, they're there every year. Yeah. Whereas with a crowdfunding, you scroll a little bit. Wow, I like that. And you click and sometimes when I back a campaign, I don't always necessarily follow the stretch goals. So when I get the reward, I'm like, oh wow, hey, I got a couple of trading cards, I got a print. Okay, that's awesome. I didn't even know that.
Right. Right.
So I mean, if you don't like me, I suppose you're probably like following that. Oh, we got to stretch goal. I do stretch goal. Yeah.
On about a weekly basis. Because I'm always supporting one, always one out there usually that I'm supporting or something. And I think I looked at it, I'm up to I bought 50 or something. That's not many, but still that's
right.
So yeah, I'll jump in and sort of catch up on what's going on. And then, I like keeping up with it. I'm like, oh, that's a cool stretch goal. And the cool thing about stretch goals, to our supporters, is getting them to help us reach those goals so they get the free stuff.
Right.
So they sort of self-promote. They promote our projects. So then they get more free stuff.
Because they want that print.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're only $50 away from that stretch goal. And they're like, hey, back this so I can get that print.
Exactly.
Actually, that happened with one of the Freaks and Gods campaigns. There was a guy who has a podcast. Name escapes me. The first name is Chris, but the podcast. He was on Twitter, and he would tag me all the time, and he would be like tagging other people saying, I want this book and I want this print. So you and you and you need to back this. So
wow.
yeah, it works. It works.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people look at stretch goals like, oh gosh, I got to do this or I got to do that. No, they're a huge way. If you market them correctly, you keep them affordable. They're not add-ons. Add-ons need, and the difference is add-ons would also be prints, pins, buttons, but you're passing the cost of those on to the supporter.
Right. They're literally buying it. They're adding it on and paying for it. Right.
Yes, they are. Where the stretch goals are stuff coming out of our pockets. We've got to budget it. We got to understand that, hey, we're going to pick up the cost of that print. We're going to pick up the cost of that trading card, the cost of that sticker. So, but you got to plan for that ahead. You've got to do, I mean, you don't got to do it. Successful ones know how to do it. Successful ones know how to get their fan involved in wanting those stretch goals.
Right. Right. So I have in front of me some of the stretch goals that I had for my first campaign, the Tales of the Dark Tunnel.
Yes.
I think the first one was $1 over.
That's my favorite.
Which I got from you, and I'm going to do that again. Yes. Was a 6x9 print, and the reason why it's 6x9 and not a giant poster is this slides right into a bag with your comic book or other stretch goals, and people like this quite a bit.
Yes.
And then I also did trading cards.
Yes.
I think I did 2 for one stretch goal, but then I started doing one different stretch goals. And then I also did bookmarks. That's really popular too. People like that.
I like those.
And
hey, now your bookmarks print on both sides?
I did, yeah. In this case I did, but I've got bookmarks from the past that just has something on one side.
Right.
Either way, whatever, if you're running the campaign, whatever, if that saves you enough money to be able to get more of these, then just do it one side then,
Right. Your trading cards, I know this, but I'm asking.
They have a back?
Yes, they have the back.
Right. This is like a very simple rundown on, this is like a trading card for the entire like Dark Tunnel universe, Tales of the Dark Tunnel. So on the back, it was just like the public domain versions of the characters and a little quick write-up.
I love that.
Then
that's cool.
This one was Flame Girl, and I made like a who's who with a picture from one of her first appearances.
That is awesome.
And it didn't take me long to design these because I do this all day.
Right.
Part of my job, but just something nice. And then obviously the print has nothing on the back.
Right.
Because it's just meant to be taped to a wall or put onto a bulletin board or who knows, whatever you want.
I leave them in the bag with the comic after I read it. I keep I keep it all together for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, and some of them's like Lady Deaths, man. They're like a bag of freebie stuff along with a bag of the comics,
Right, yeah. And
I always try to keep it all together because I don't know why. Not that I'm going to sell them or do anything, but
kind of negates the purpose of a print, though, doesn't it, Bob?
Yeah.
I actually have I bought a bunch of like sleeves for like these cards.
Pocket sleeves?
So what I did was I've been keeping the cards I get from other campaigns and keeping them in the box with the sleeves, and I can look through them and go, oh yeah, I remember that. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Right.
These are really, I remember people commenting on my campaign about how fun it was and waiting to get that next stretch goal. Now, with these comes how far apart are the stretch goals?
Right.
You got me on the idea of when you're $1 over your goal, you give something away for free, which people like. I like doing that.
That's like ringing the bell at a carnival. It's sort of like, ding, we hit our stretch goal. You're getting something else. So it's totally padded in the initial cost. But it gets them excited. Like, I get free stuff? Yeah. Now let's get that next one at whatever, I know I'm going to relaunch Hill Girl in a few weeks. My initial cost or my initial offering is like $500. It doesn't nearly cover the cost of producing it, But I gotta understand that one, I want to be successful. Two, I'm not too sure where the fan base is. This is a new project.
Right.
The whole girl, there was a number one. It was distributed years and years ago. But it's never been crowdfunded. She really hasn't been out in front of people. So, and I'll talk about her later on in another podcast, but I just wanted to get it out there. I've already I've already paid for the cost of getting it, it done, inked, colored. I've got to letter it. So I'll be lettering it over the next few weeks. But it's like, ooh, okay, launching $1,000 might be too high, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, you got Brian Polito who just ran a $500,000 project, and I think he started at 15 grand. Still, 15 or 20 is where he always starts because that's his base cost of it. And then people goes, man, he pocketed the difference. No, he gives away so much stuff that he has to produce to get to those numbers. And all this stuff, they all cost money. It's a big investment down the road. Right. Sure. Does he do better more he does? Sure. But he still has a lot to produce. And that's one thing you got to remember as a publisher. You got to offset the cost of doing those.
Right.
But I'm just from a personal reference, and they'll be able to look at my Kickstarter when I launch it, is that I'm going to launch at 500. My second stretch goal, because my first stretch goal will be 501.
Mm-hmm.
And then my second one was going to be a 250 mark, and for extra $250, I can afford to print trading cards or a mini print. A mini print, I think we do 100 copies is the minimum print run on those, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Trading cards is either 250 or 500. I can't remember which, but it's minimum for the amount of investment. And for another $250, yes, yes. And then my next one will be $250 after that, and it'll be each $250 increments. Right, will be another stretch goal.
Yeah. See, now, Danger Tours. I did that a long time ago, and it was out by a publisher a long time ago. Right. Never did anything. Never had any traction. I never really got. So basically, there are people who know me who are like, "Oh, you're doing that thing again?" And I'm like, "Well, no, because there's a lot of people. Let's face it, everybody." Who's never heard of them before. So I'm did the same boat as you. So I'm launching mine on October 5th. Right. And that I'm starting off at 500, and I'm doing the 501, and then the 750, and then the 1,000, and so on in increments of $250. So the first thing they get is a print, and then the next one they get is a card. Okay. Speaking of the cards, I think it's good that. If you're going to do trading cards, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, like, whatever the stretch goals are, like if we end up doing 4 stretch goals and 3 of those are trading cards, then the cards will be numbered on the back 1 of 3. Right. For that exclusive series, 1 of 3. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good idea. I mean, I agree. It's just that Kickstarter for that issue. This is the 3 trading cards. If we get more, that's awesome. Then I have to produce more of the cards, and then Right. But you're right. It's for $250. Sure, you have to print the book, but get the trading cards, and then everyone gets one. Yeah. Yeah, and the add-ons too. But the whole thing is not only when we're sitting here and we're saying, okay, you got a minimum print run, probably about 100. It's you got to get enough printed to make them really where they don't hurt you to print. Right. And the same with trading cards. But you're going to sell these afterwards. Yes. You're going to sell them at shows. These aren't exclusive to Kickstarter. They were produced by Kickstarter. That doesn't mean they have to be exclusive. Now, if you do exclusive cover, it should be exclusive cover. Oh, absolutely, yeah. But the trading cards, the prints, you can sell those. You can sell a print out there for $4 or $5. Make it signed. Trading cards $1 a pop. 3 card set, like you said, $3 for the whole set. That's the cool thing. So whether you set up your own store, if you set up an Etsy, which I know there's several other store formats out there right now. Right. These will be sellable for you for a long time. Exactly. So, right. And shows, take them to shows. Yeah. You always tell me not to give any of that stuff away when people buy my book through I have an Etsy store for Tales of the Dark Tunnel and Freaks and Gods. But I haven't been. But I also haven't put them up for sale. The other thing is that I also had a sticker. I had a sticker, like a square sticker.
I've got some stickers here.
Yeah, right.
They love stickers.
Yeah.
You know, we have stickers like at my video game store, and people love sticking these things on computers, on boxes, on consoles that we have to get them off of.
Yeah, when you buy them,
yeah. So they love stickers, and so stickers are great. They're a little bit more expensive, but not much. And I'm going to try in this Hellgirl Kickstarter my first die cut sticker, like where it's the shape of the character. Yeah. I'm going to investigate that and see what that cost is. But I like to do some of those. Like I said, because they advertise you. They stick it on things that they're carrying around with them, or they've got the other friends see, and they're going to stick them, proud and out there, and it's promoting you. It's promoting our projects.
Right. They like it. They show it off, and everyone is happy.
Yes,
everyone's happy at the end of that.
That's what we want. Everybody happy.
That's right. Exactly. Now buttons. I'm going to be doing buttons this time around for one of my stretch goals. You talked me into that.
Yeah, it might backfire on me considering I'm making the buttons. So
yeah, I know. Yeah,
that's fine.
It's not like I can just drive over there like on an afternoon in hell.
You're only 3 hours away now. You're closer.
It's only 3 hours. I am closer. Yeah.
Jot up here on Sunday.
But on the day of rest, no, there is none.
You take a day of rest?
No, I don't. That's
no,
my
I don't
problem.
think so.
That's my problem. I probably should. But yeah, buttons are kind of cool. What now? There's a like a half inch, yeah,
inch and a half buttons.
Right.
Yeah, I've got like 10,000 blanks for a button maker we bought a couple years ago. I did some Blood and Roses buttons. Those were a lot of fun. But those are stuff you can sell too, and people wear them. They put them on hats. They put them on lanyards, and they wear them around. Backpacks,
absolutely. Those are fun.
My son's Clay's. He's got pins and buttons on his backpack and stuff that he carries around. So those are really cool. A little bit more expensive. You need to find a place that makes them. Right. There's usually tons of them out there, but they're nice. They're a nice add-on, or they can be a nice stretch goal.
Right. Now, I worked at a place a while ago that made buttons as a part of other stuff that they made, and it really is not that hard. It's like a basically like a wedge you pull down. So my point is that if you're trying to save money and you go to a place that like prints this stuff locally, wherever you might go, and say, hey, if you just teach me how to use that thing on an afternoon one day, can I kind of sneak in there and just pay for the print and the button itself and not all the extra labor? I can do that,
Yeah,
save yourself some money, maybe. Who knows?
They've got some really affordable buttons. I mean, I've got the big crank one down too. They've got some that you can pop out the hand that look identical to the ones that my big crank does, Yeah. So there's some different affordable button makers out there.
Yeah, if that's something you're gonna, a lot of buttons. I'm just saying, if like a Kickstarter, you can save some money. I mentioned in the last video how one of my books back in the day when I was a teen, they showed me how to use the saddle stitch, and they took a whole bunch of money out so I can staple my books together. So that's an option for you.
Sure. So you're gonna come up on Sunday and make buttons, right?
We have to see. We have to see how deep. I never know what side it's on. How Danger Tours goes.
It's going to do well. I think it's going to do real well.
I'm hoping. Yeah.
It actually launches on October 5th. You said
October 5th. Yeah.
All right. So definitely, this will go live right before then. So check it out.
Cool. Yeah.
So stretch goals. There's all kinds. You can get into covers and sketch variants, but those are more add-ons, and I think we need to talk about add-ons separately.
Yes,
because those are things that you're also producing that they're buying, to increase the reward, the rewards price. So
right. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about was digital. The stuff we're talking about only goes to people who buy a physical book.
Yes.
But you could try to create some kind of digital reward that everyone would get, even those who just bought a digital copy. I mean, that's
you hardly ever see that, because you want to encourage people to step up and buy a printed copy. And that's the reason. The whole encouragement of not offering many digital stretch rewards is that you put on there on all your digital ones does not include stretch rewards.
Right.
It just doesn't, because you want them to step up and spend more money with you so you make more profit. And then they get the rewards. They want rewards. That's a real backer who's going to support you and wants all your stuff. So offering it, like, we could do digital trading cards, but it's like, we want to do even though it costs us more to print more, you end up making more because they're buying more higher priced items.
Right. So, that's true. But I'm also thinking out of the box, or, if you've got a book that you did a long time ago and you have a digital copy of that, sure, you could try to sell it as a part of the rewards, or you could just give it to everybody.
Sure.
As a reward, as a stretch reward, if you want. But yes, you're absolutely 100% right. You want people to buy the printed copy and get these added stuff because it's more, it raises more money for you and your project. So you can then, I'm assuming you're going to turn it around and use it to do the next project. That's what I'm planning on doing with that. Right.
And that's the cool thing too, is like with here we are back on add-ons. We got to do another one on these on the add-ons, because you could package past add-ons with new add-ons and do like print sets and stuff like that.
True. Yeah.
So we'll touch on that on another video. But
perfect.
Stretch goals, they're huge because they are the carny of the prizes, winning the big prize, getting it up there, and it gets people involved in your project. They want to see you succeed, so they get the bonus, the extra stretch rewards. So it's almost a must. So
right. I think my final word on that is, as long as you keep the cost in mind, be creative.
Yes.
You don't have to stick with just bookmarks, stickers, and trading cards and prints. I've got one that had a really cool wooden nickel, because it was about the Grim Reaper. The comic was about Grim Reaper, and it had this like skull in the center of this wooden nickel. I don't know how much that cost, but I was like, this is really cool, actually.
I know I've gotten them that's had pogs. Remember old pogs?
Oh yeah, the pogs.
Pogs in them, bottle openers. Just
again,
it's
as
cool
long
stuff.
as you
now, if those might be more than $250 stretch rewards, though. Might be. You go from here to another $1,000. I like giving stuff away, and I can afford to do trading cards and little prints, 6x9 prints, stickers, in small increments. One, it keeps people involved in your project,
right?
And we're always building that fan base. We're trying to get that fan base behind us. So, I think be creative, have fun with it. Nowadays you got those Cricuts that does printing and die cutting. My daughter-in-law's got one. Who knows what all you could do with that? I haven't investigated it yet.
Right.
I'll be talking to my daughter-in-law, about some of that stuff. But it might be some really cool stuff that you can do with that, as far as vinyl and stickers.
You can buy one yourself, and in the long run, it might pay itself off.
Yeah, especially if this isn't a one and done. If you're coming back to the crowdfunding format and I don't mean the next month, but within 6 months you're back. Within 6 months you're back. Then you can invest in equipment like button makers, like Cricuts, and create your stretch rewards very affordably.
Right. Yeah.
But all right. Well, I think we did that. Covered that a little bit. Let's. I'm supposed to have already give a. Let me see where my mouse is. There it is. I was supposed to give a shout out, and I will right here to Sketch Magazine.
Yes.
Sketch Magazine is at sketchmagazine.net. And as of right now, we are offering free subscription. It's a members only subscription. I'm logged in, so you don't see the sign up page, but it is a free subscription. If you don't want it, and the thing with free subscription is that you agree to take a daily email newsletter from Comic Book Crowdfunding News, which is going to be a news that highlights comic book crowdfunding projects that start actually next week.
Right.
It's just a daily email. Check it out, because there again, I think I like to see what other people are doing. I usually end up supporting one or two. But I like seeing what they're doing. so that I might use some of it myself. So I'm always checking out other people. So, I like the concept of comic book crowdfunding news. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
to get people more involved in that, we decided to give Sketch away. We literally have hundreds of interviews. We have blogs. We have podcasts. We have sketchbooks. We have downloads. We got free comics. I'm putting unit primes on there today. It's on my list to do. We're creating crowdfunding. The podcast is for that. You can see some of the videos we've posted. Of course, every Sketch magazine so far is available online. You'll be able to read it. If you go over to Sketch Magazine Podcast, we have 100 and some odd podcasts there, articles and blogs from good friends and professionals in the podcast. We're going to be adding to this. This isn't a site that's just here and, they're handing out this old site. Bill Nichols just handed in 50 interviews. And so we're going to be posting those on a weekly basis. I'm trying to drag you back into cranking something at least monthly or something else.
Yeah.
Need Chris's voice over here. And this podcast will be posted. And then I'm going to be doing something on the crowdfunding end here too on a regular basis. So there's going to be content here, but even, it's still 46 issues of Sketch Magazine, 46 interviews of major industry, creators. We'll be 47 once 47 is committed and we get all the crowdfunding stuff. Free comics. You get free comics to download and check out. There's downloads. We're going to be adding a lot more downloads. I've got screen tints. I've got borders. I've got templates of figure drawings and face drawings and all that we're going to be adding to it. Stuff that I created that either didn't go anywhere or it's just sitting here. So we'll be adding a lot of new content here, and it can be free. Just accept the newsletter, and boom, you're in it. Sketchmagazine.net. Let me see if I can get to. One more selfless plug here.
Shameless plug.
Thank you. One more shameless plug here. Comic Book Crowdfunding. It's a newsletter that I've created. Originally, I created for me and Chris and a couple of friends to use. Basically, I did this when I published my novel. I reached out to 3 or 4 newsletters just like this, and I bought ad space on those newsletters. And by doing so, I became a #1 best-selling author on Amazon with our book. Nobody ever knew us as novelists. Nobody ever heard of Bill and I as writing. And we were #1 in 5 categories. We're number 8 in 10 categories. We were number 5 in 8 categories. Yeah. So I decided, why not offer this to everybody? So it's the same concept. Is that we this is sort of what the newsletter will sort of look like here. It'll be limited to 15 spots a day, so no more than that. We've already got creators and publishers jumping on board. We've got a few spots sold out, and it's going to launch on October 3rd or 4th. Today,
I think it's the 3rd.
Yeah, it launches October 3rd.
Monday, right?
This Monday. Yeah, it will launch. I think it's very affordable. Right now, we're running a 20% off on ad spots, and through the month of October, I'm doing ×2, which means you get 1 spot, you get a second spot free. You get 2 spots, you get 2 spots free. You get 5 spots, you get 5 spots free. I want people to do well with this. I want them to see their crowdfunders doing well by getting their projects in front of as many people as possible.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I don't think you mentioned how many this goes up to.
How many we send out on a daily basis?
How many people are on this list already?
Yeah, we have over 10,000 people on this list. Yeah,
right.
I'm sorry. This list has been built years. Yeah, that is important.
It's very important.
This list has been built years using Blue Line and Sketch Magazine. These are fans of comic books. These are other creators and other publishers that want to check out this concept. They will support. So yeah, it's like, this is a proven list, and this isn't a spam list. This list has been cleaned. this has been asked. Will you receive this email? And I was really surprised how few said no and left. We opened the door up for them to leave. And we'll be adding new. This week alone, we added 130 new email addresses to the list. So it will be growing. So yeah, I think I'm really excited about this. And I think it can really help not only us, because that's why I originally thought of it, but it can help a lot of people with this and get people and get their projects in front of them.
Honestly, I had never even thought this was a thing until you mentioned it about your novel.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great idea. I mean, I'm excited about it because when I go to see, the thing is I don't always the way I find projects to support is when I'm scrolling through Facebook or someplace and someone shares it. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. That looks cool. Because if you go to, I've never gone to Kickstarter and just searched comic books.
I get overwhelmed.
Yeah, there's like, oh, I'm done.
Yep. Yeah, I get overwhelmed with it when I do that. Yes,
but potentially there could be 15 new, and it's not just Kickstarter. If you have an Indiegogo, you get that too. And also, it's not genre specific. So on the same day, you could have a superhero book next to an adventure, next to a romance, next to a slice of life, whatever these people, which is like, it's perfect.
Yes, I
Give it
agree.
to you in small increments rather than everything that they have all at once. I think it's a great idea.
So if you're a creator or publisher, go check out, I'll put a link below, comicbookcrowdfunding.com. If you want to sign up and find out about projects and stuff, there's a sign up on the page also. So, and if you have any questions, there's a link and an email, and I'll include all that below also. So yeah, this one, we're doing everything we can with the tools we have to not only get our own projects out, but also try to help other people get seen and get their projects. Because the more successful all of us are, the more eyes we're bringing to the concept of crowdfunding, and it's only going to uplift everybody.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm really excited about this.
Yep,
so.
I am too, actually.
All right. Well, I will see you sometime next week again. We'll do another recording. The fun thing is, by then you will have launched your project, and we will have launched comic book crowdfunding news. So
it's an exciting week.
We'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it's an exciting week.
Oh, a busy week.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been it for Sketch Magazine Podcast, Chris. I appreciate it, buddy.
All right. Thanks a lot. See you
Take
guys.
care, man.
Bye.